Aya. Good. Hey. Wow. Mr. DJ.
Good evening. As she had mentioned earlier, my name is Sylvia Mochabo, and the three titles she said: Miss Africa Elite. Let me start from this one. So I was honored to represent the country in Africa pageants. Pageantry is a platform where we are here to create change. So it's not all about beauty, but beauty with substance. Sorry? Okay, so I won Miss Africa Elite 2020, so I shall be representing the African continent in Canada, Toronto next year, in the United Nations International Finals. So that's the international title that I hold, and on top of that, for the charities that I've been doing, and for the people who voted for me, both here in Kenya and across, I managed to get Elite Face of Africa. So those are the three that she was talking about, and it's a great honor to actually be here. I had an engagement, but the minute she called me yesterday, so there was no warning. It was yesterday that she called me, and I said, for the love that I have for special needs children, I will drop everything and come. That is the cause that I'm championing for. I'm championing for inclusion. I want all the children to be looked at as equal. Let's focus on their ability and not their disability. I am a parent, and I have 2 children on the autism spectrum. So out of my 3 boys, and I'm glad that my eldest son is here, he's always my bodyguard. All right? So I walk this journey, and I have seen how hard it is. Parents, every pain you go through, I have walked it. I feel it, I know it. That's why the minute I was told there's an opportunity to come, I said, everything else can wait. And this is more important to me than everything else. I run an organization called Annie Speaks for Special Needs Persons, which I founded this year. And we'd like to fight for policy of inclusion. I'd like awareness to be out there so that the neurodiverse community is also embraced by everyone in the country, in the continent, and globally. We know everyone wants to talk about it in harsh tones, but what I say is, I will come out, I will stand, I will use my children as the example to just encourage other parents to come out. And parents, you have done a commendable job. I think let us clap ourselves. The parents who actually come out and decide, I'm going to make the life of my child better and put them in school and let them be the best they can be. I am truly humbled to see we have a graduating class. It gives me hope. I've only been in this journey for 9 years. Because there is Daniel here, Andrew Tan is 9, and we have Bradley who is turning 8 in January. So to see them graduate, I nearly cried. I was like, this is possible. So it gives me hope. And when you see a child excel, it's because there is a parent who did not give up on them. So parents, for me, this is 1,001 times echo. Congratulations to you. Congratulations for never giving up. Congratulations for understanding what it takes. Congratulations for putting your heart there and walking this journey with your child, because no one else knows what it's like. No one else understands everything that you have to put up with, all the sleepless nights we go through. I remember every time I get a parent telling me, I've just been given a diagnosis and I feel like my world is coming to an end. You did not give up. You continued, you forged on, and you decided you will do everything. And also the parents who are here and the children are still in school, don't give up. I always say, even if it takes me 20 years, I will do whatever it takes to make sure that our children get equal and inclusive education, health, and they're included. Even as we go on out there for the graduating class, we are preparing a future for you. We want you to step out and not be afraid that where will I go? I'm sure how many of us parents always wonder, okay, graduation is here, what's next? Yes? Unapologetically, let us raise our hands. Who is worried? I know I am worried about teenage. You have passed teenage, right? Now you're going into adulthood. But what we're trying to do is make sure that there is a future, that our children are also counted. When we're talking about education, when we're talking about colleges, when we're talking about TVET, where are our children going? How many years has it taken for us to just go through primary and high school? It's not regular like any neurotypical child, but we stuck through. And for our children and even the ones who are in school, and you continue. Never give up on yourself. Your father, your mother has not given up on you. All right? So don't give up on yourself. For me, when I joined pageantry, it was my first time. I have not modeled before in my life. It was a dream I had when I was 19. Now I am 35. I am a parent. When someone told me to do it, I gave excuses because that's always the first thing we do. We look at the what is impossible, what will stop me, instead of focusing on what if I take that first step? What if I go for it? How far will I go? And with the first time I came back home with 3 titles, 3 sashes, 19 awards. I broke a record in history of the 20 years of pageantry by getting 100% in some of the categories. Something that has never happened because I believed in me. And I was driven because the cause that I want to champion for, which is the inclusion of special needs children. That was my fire. When I slept at 3 a.m. in the morning, knowing I still have to balance my work and my foundation the next day, at the end of the day, I was looking at the price of what I want. I want to get that platform so that I can speak on behalf of all of you as parents and as children and also for my children who are not able to speak for themselves. When I see these kids and the joy that is in this room, I look at my son who cannot express himself fully and I say, one day you will come and tell me, Mommy, I had a good day. I waited 5 years for him to call me mom, and I can wait as long as it takes for him to tell me how his day was. And whatever it takes, I will fight on, and I will go for it to make sure at the end of the day, they get equal opportunities like any other child in this country of ours. And that is a promise that I am making to every special needs parent. Even if it will kill me, I will fight to make sure that our children now you're going to a new step, all right? Your parents will let go of your hand just a bit. I know we never let go. That is the one thing we're afraid of, letting go. I always remember when I was told my son needs to go for a school trip, and it felt like someone was carrying my heart. It took me a whole month, and the day he left, I called like 10 times, are you sure you'll be okay? Will you give him his medicine? But remember, it takes trust to let go of our children. So for the graduating class, as you go out there, go knowing what you want. If you can't figure it out, take your time. There is no rush. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. What is it that you enjoy? Who can you talk to help you figure it out? Surround yourself with people who will walk with you this journey. People who know and understand you. If it's your parent, your best friend, or your neighbor, or the fellow student who will be able to walk with you, have that one person at least you can confide in, and they are able to see your ability and encourage you. They always say, if you want to be an eagle, you have to fly with the eagles. If you hang around the barnyard hen, the best you can do is peck the ground and keep looking for food down there. But if you engage with eagles, you will soar through the skies and even through the storm to get to where you want to be. So you have to know where you want to be and go for it. My theme this year is go for it, and I'm encouraging anyone I come across. It doesn't matter what the devil tells you can or cannot do. Focus, look at it, write it down. If it looks too big, break it down to small chunks. All right? And I always say, if it does not scare you enough, then it's not big enough. You're not dreaming big enough if it does not scare you when you think about it. So go for that thing that every time you think about it, you feel your stomach is cringing. That thing that makes you sweat at night and you can't sleep. That is what God intends for you. Find your purpose and go go for it. Don't relent because someone else said this or that. Believe in you. Because you can only live one life and there can only be one you, no duplicate. Everyone else is taken. There is only one version of you. Thank you very much.
Wow.